The goal by the end of the day is to turn it over and have the car fire up. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 3 of the EVA 4 build. Pre-build. The pre-build is getting this thing to run. The build starts later on after we make sure the car runs and drives. Quick backstory. We bought the car, brought it home, got it in the shop, got it on the lift, timing belt was off the car. Got a timing belt on it yesterday. The car has good compression. It won't start. Check spark. We were not getting any spark yesterday. Diagnosed for about 10 minutes and left off there. So we need to run through and figure out why the car is not producing any spark. A couple different things it could be. Bad crank sensor, something's messed up in the harness, bad cam sensor, bad ignition coils, bad spark plug, a couple different things. So I'm just gonna start knocking stuff off the list. I don't think it's gonna take too long. I hope at least it's not gonna take too long to just figure out why it's not giving us any spark. Maybe bad ground somewhere. But yeah, let's just start running through and see what we figure out. All right, so on the blue wire, we're not getting any sort of voltage out of the crank sensor. Just jumped pins 1 and 4 on the port, and let's see what code this thing's gonna throw. The long flash is 10, short flash is 1. So there's 10, 20, and then 1, 2. Code 22. 10, 20. So she is thrown code 22, and if I'm not mistaken, that is a crank sensor code. Code 22 is crank angle censored. Here's a little list. Crank sensor is the same 4 to 9. I do have a crank sensor on the black car outside, but I don't want to pull it off. So I might just run to an auto parts store real quick and slap a crank sensor on it, because it sounds like that's her issue. Sick. Hey, I am looking for a crank sensor. It's for a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution.
Yes, we have an import direct for $96.99.
Okay, is that in stock?
I currently do not have it in stock.
Hey, I'm looking for a crank sensor. It's for a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer.
Turbo?
Yes.
It's one in Seattle.
Oh shoot, okay. All right, there's nothing here local in Spokane at an auto parts store, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip the one off the black 8 real quick, which I don't wanna do, but let's get her done. "13 minutes later, new crank sensor is on. Pro tip, instead of pulling the timing belt back off the car, depin the connector. It takes like 13 minutes exactly to swap the crank sensor. We got the replacement one on. Let's hope that sensor is good. I'm guessing it is. Let's go ahead, crank it over, and see if we get spark now. Well, we had spark for a second. It sounded weird, and now we don't have spark. So I took a look at the old crank sensor, and I think I found our issue. I'm guessing that trigger wheel is messed up, because check out that crank sensor. Can almost guarantee you the new one now looks like that as well. Don't know if that's fixable. I'm gonna try to bend it back. Definitely sounded like that trigger wheel was smacking something right when I turned it over. We did have spark though, so that is our issue. We're having some sort of crank sensor / trigger wheel issue. This thing's gonna run today, my friends, provided we can find a crank sensor or fix one. Well, this one is completely destroyed. So either that crank sensor trigger wheel is bent, or this thing has such bad crank walk, it's shifted and smacking the sensor. I said it was one of two things, either the bent trigger wheel or massive, massive crank walk. Holy shit. This is crank walk. This, my friends, is crank walk. Well guys, it looks like it is time to build a motor. This thing is, for lack of a better term, she's fucked. You guys saw how much crank walk there is. I'm sure, of course, the crank is smoked. The block might be usable, but yeah, these older Evos, 1 through 4s, have massive crank walk problems. I thought I checked, apparently I did check it yesterday, but apparently I didn't put enough pressure on it to notice the 8 inches of crank walk. My favorite build, I would say to date, as far as the Evo, as far as the 4G goes, was the 4G64 setup we did in the Black 8. That car was so fun, it's so torquey, so responsive, and I know I want to keep this car as original as possible, but if we're already gonna have the motor out and being built, I might as well throw a motor, and I already have the perfect turbo setup for it too. We might as well throw a motor in that's gonna be a little more power than the stock 2-liter. So I do think I'm gonna do a 4G64 setup in this car. It'd be super, super fun. This car is pretty damn light, so it doesn't need a ton of power. So what I'm thinking right now is the 4G64, we're gonna use, it'd be the 64 block and crank, and then we use the Evo, pretty much everything else Evo. Evo head, the whole Evo top end. We would of course do forged internals, like just get the best of the best in this thing. And to top it off, I have an Evo 6.5 TME turbo that would make some really fun power on this car. And I think we would have to jump to Evo 5 ECU to get it tuned. Either that or just a standalone, do a Haltech or something on it. But I do want to keep it as original as possible. It sucks this motor's smoked. Yeah, it really sucks this motor's smoked. What are we gonna do the rest of the day? I guess I should probably just put this car back together a little bit. I don't have time to tear into this thing right now. There's a few other projects we need to finish first. I need to work on Bobby's STI a little bit. I need to work on my Evo 10. I need to finish up a few little things on the hatch. We have to fix Jared's Evo 10. What else? Retune Bobby's 10. And then maybe from there, we'll do a full build on the Evo 4. All right, moving on. I guess I'm just gonna put this car off to the side. When we work on this car, everything's gonna be completely gone through. The engine bay's gonna be completely redone. Whole undercarriage, whole exterior, whole interior. This car's gonna be a full damn restoration from the ground up. It's probably gonna happen much sooner than later now that we can't even drive the car at all. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna put it off to the side. I'm gonna tackle a bunch of other projects, starting with Bobby's STI. The car is dialed, the car's good to go. There's 2 things I want to change on it today. Number 1, starting with the oil pan. That car has a stock pan on it, and well, that would be fine. The car has a severely built engine in it, and I like to beat the shit out of the car. I'm not gonna lie. Bobby does a little bit, not really, but especially doing loop-de-doopties in the snow and whatnot and on dry pavement, you really want to baffle the oil pan on there. So we picked up a Torque Solutions oil pan, and we're gonna go ahead and slap that on, and we're at the 500 mile mark as well with a brand new engine, so perfect timing. We can go ahead, drain the oil out, of course we're gonna have to anyway, and then pull the pan, swap the new Torque Solutions pan on there, and then change the oil, and then we're gonna be changing the turbo setup as well. So yeah, let's get some cars moved around, and I'm gonna go get coffee because I'm pissed off. Picked up some beloved VR1 for Bobby's STI and some beloved Promotex Ultra Gray for another motor build that we have tomorrow. Pan is off the car. Everything underneath the pan looks beautiful as expected. Let's go ahead and get the gasket surface cleaned up, get the new oil pan opened up, and bolted on the engine. By the way, would not recommend doing this with the engine in the car, not very fun. Do it while your motor's out. So you may be wondering why I chose the Torque Solution pan over the Killer B pan or any other pan. The main reason for it is because this thing is O-ringed. No sealant needed on this thing, which is a huge plus for me. Look at all the extra baffling in there. I'm pretty sure it holds a little bit of extra oil. This thing is freaking beautiful. Let's get it installed. Car's all done. Looked in our little baggie over here and we have some leftover parts. There's no install instructions, so I don't know what, well, I know what these are for. I just don't know if like we need them. These are spacers for the oil pickup. I'm guessing we have to pull this whole freaking car back apart and put those in. Why don't they include install instructions for people like me who are dumb? Damn it. All right, boys, I'm gonna pop back here in the morning. We gotta pull the STI back apart, pull that pan off, get these pickup spacers on. It might be fine without them. I don't really know. Of course, they include them for a reason, so we're gonna run them. And then we can deal with the new turbo, kind of a new turbo setup that we're putting on the car. Hopefully it all works out. Car's all back together with the proper pickup spacers. Oil is in. Does seem like it holds about a half quart to maybe about a quart more than stock, which is cool. Now let's move on to some turbo stuff. Just by pulling off the compressor housing, I'm sure a lot of you guys know exactly what we are about to do. The STI is gonna get the T51R housing. This is off of 6266, 5858. This one is powder coated chrome. Let's go ahead and slap it on and see how she sounds on a Sub. On an Evo, they sound nuts. On a Subaru, it might be cool, it might be a little annoying. Guess we'll see. initially I thought the compressor housing was the same. Of course, a 58 and a 62 have a different size compressor wheel. So this is a 62 housing with a 58 wheel, and that might just be throwing everything off. Hello? I have a gift for you. Come outside.
What'd you put on my car? Ow! Funny bone.
That's fine. You have to figure out what I did.
I don't see anything.
We're gonna have to go for a cruise.
My slippers are on, so I can't try that well. What the hell was that thing? What is that?
What's what?
What is that noise? Why does the turbo sound like that?
What do you mean?
Is that mod? That one? What is it called? Sounds like an airplane. Is that what you did? It is that mod. Yeah, it does.
Do you hate it?
No, I don't hate it at all. No, I like it. I love all the noises. Is that stupid?
No.
That is loud. Holy
See? This went off my Evo.
whoa.
But I didn't put your intake back on.
Why?
For fun.